What's going on, guys? Kai here. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a really cool idea I had. I want to tell you all about the Penguin Knight family and how good they actually are. Let's get into it. Alright, so the Penguin Knight family is one of my favorite 4-star families in the game. There's all of them have some function in the game. Some are obviously better than others. Where I'm going to go through those pretty quickly. Naki right here, nothing on the basic. S1 3 mana stun with a actually really high multiplier on attack, but it's a tank scaling on attack, which is going to be kind of rough. Could be a destroy thing. Really funny with the 70% stun. Not really useful. The second one is kind of where his actual tankiness comes in. 90% chance provoke. That is puts it down for me because 90% not 100% base. Increase skill cooldown by 20%. That's actually the cool part because when you provoke them, then you make their cooldowns last longer for the 20 seconds and makes himself invincible. But there are a bunch of strips and stuff in PvP right now, so Naki doesn't currently have a place. But if strips go down, it's a very funny, at the very early stages of NA, people were using a bunch of Chloe for her invulnerability, and if that ever becomes a thing again, Naki could have a place. Toma is actually a very, very annoying unit. If you have played against Water Cleave in PvP, this is very similar. Basic attack, 4% chance to freeze for about 3 seconds. That's huge. You're going to build him super tanky with accuracy and some attack speed. His first skill, 70% chance to freeze for 3.5 seconds with the 4 mana. So that's actually a pretty good ROI for return on investment for mana spent to time CC'd. Because generally it should take you roughly a little over a second to get a mana, depending on if you're Orbia, whatnot. And then also defense break, which is very, very huge. And as you see, a very high attack scaling. Then his last one, this is actually the funniest thing on him. And probably something that you don't see across the board. He has a guaranteed crit. Kind of low percent scaling, but it's 3 mana instead of 4. If target is frozen, automatic crit. If target is frozen, bonus hit for half damage. So while it kind of looks like he's a damage dealer, his main function is the basic attack freezes and the freezes with defense down. This isn't the one that I want to talk to you about today, but I think he's a very, very funny one that needs to be brought up. Going right off into him, we have Kuna, which is in that same vein, does really funny things and could have a niche going into the future, but the wind and light ones are the one I'm going to talk about in a second. But really quick, Kuna is super interesting. Regular damage, if target is provoked, no chance, just if they're provoked, then recovers HP for 2.3% of max HP when you use your basic. So he's also going to be built with high HP, high defense, accuracy, and attack speed. Then we have his first attack. Provoke and attack speed. Literally exactly what his basic. This is a really well-built kit, and he knows exactly what he wants to do. They did really, really well with designing this kit because you have provoke, normal provoke, and then gives himself attack speed so he can attack to heal himself. And if you take a look, his book effect is HP and precision. Precision so he can hit with the basic so he can get the heal off. Then we have his last one, which bakes off of his first active skill. Pretty regular damage, level 2 defense down, and if the target is provoked, 70% chance to stun for 3.5 seconds on a 3 mana cooldown. So he can see a place. The meta right now is just very, very quick, but if it slows down at all, going forward, we know that monster damage is going up and summoner damage is going down in the future. When that cycle hits, Kuna could be in a very interesting spot to see some play. Mav is the first one I really wanted to talk about. If we take a look, regular basic doesn't matter. First skill is provoke and continuous recovery. His provoke is slightly bigger than the others. So that's very, very good. It's a 3 mana provoke, and he's going to be healing himself. Continuous recovery is very good on tanks because, as you can see, it's 3.5% of max HP, not a flat amount that's based on attack or whatnot like some other healers. So very, very powerful provoke unit. Then we have what he's actually known for. Gives himself and allies around skill acceleration and remove DOT, damage over time. Now this is going to be important because if we take a look, as a bit of a spoiler, when we go over to Donna, this is decrease skill cooldown, while this is skill acceleration. That's very different, and tell you real quick what's going on here. So for skill cooldown, this is your Galleon. This is what all the other units are doing. This is your Konamiya. This just takes your current cooldown going around in the circle and just moves it forward by that amount from the max. Whereas skill acceleration, as we see, makes you just gain mana faster. And that's very, very important when things like Leo, the Green Dragon Knight, comes, as well as someone who's seeing a lot more popularity right now, at least in the NA servers, the Light Tingling, which we'll see from his passive, suppress skill cooldown up and down by 80%, and if they attempt to do that, gives himself mana regen speed. So Tingling is being used as a counter to a bunch of these things. So being able to get mana back faster without triggering Tingling is a very, very powerful thing you can be doing in the game, which Mav definitely does with his secondary ability. Also gets rid of a damage over time. All of these DOTs in the game, burn, frostbite, whatnot, do that effect damage over time, but also have a secondary effect. If we take a look right here, go to harmful effects, and let's just look at burn real quick. Burn is increases crit damage taken as well as dealing the damage over time. Frostbite is reduces attack speed and movement speed. All of these keywords, all these damage over time effects matter and definitely are something you need to keep into account. So even though Mav doesn't cleanse things like Oblivion and whatnot, he does get rid of things like burn, frostbite, poison, things like that. Mav is a very, very interesting unit and actually a really good tank that you can use right now in the water meta. Going forward, Donna is actually my pick. And Donna is one that I'm working on right now to do some play around. Regular basic, first skill, pretty regular damage and provoke. Nothing special there, but it's 2 mana versus 3 or 4 that we've seen with all the other ones. So he is able to get it off lickety split. Right when the match starts in Brawl, you have 3 mana, so Donna can immediately provoke, and if for whatever reason they make it out, you just have to wait about a half second so you can do this a second time to catch them off guard. And if we take a look at ready to attack, if you just look at the mountain of text on it, you would think this is a good LD Nat 5, right? Just look at that. But real quick, 35% decreases cooldown of your skills and your monster skills. Decreases harmful effect level by 1. That includes things like undead, everything that has a level, it decreases it by 1. And decreases skill cooldown by 1 second per level decreased. So this is very, very important because if we take a look, so for example, what's her name? Orbia's first skill is 6 to 10 seconds, depending on what version it is, and if you have the upgraded version or not. So let's say 10 seconds to just be a nice round number, right? We take off 35%, so we take off 3.5 seconds. Now it's 6.5 seconds. But if your opponent has 3 debuffs on you, which is very, very common, now it decreases it by 3 more seconds, taking your 10-second cooldown to 3.5 seconds. Monstrous effect, and it's also very similar to Mav, getting rid of things like bleed, burn, things like that. Juno is a huge monster in Arena who applies said burn. Just all of these units, Orbia, Cleef, now with the Kuna patch coming, she's going to apply these damage over time effects. Donna is a slept on unit, and I think she's going to be very, very powerful. How do you build your Donna? Let's check it out. So with my Donna, if we take a look, runes, if we take a look, I have her at close to 100k HP. She has a pretty low book effect, but her book effect is defense and resistance. I'm building her with a bunch of HP, a bunch of defense, and then you'll also see my accuracy is at 73%. Now, all of the families provoke is base 90%, and I've seen people a little confused of what that means. So there are 2 checks that happens with skill percentages. If it has a base 100%, the first check never happens. So base 90% chance, you have a 9 in 10 chance for it to even do its thing. Then it's accuracy versus defense to see if it lands. Think of it as that 90% is 90% chance to do the thing, and then accuracy versus defense is, does it hit your opponent? I really hope that's a question I see a lot right now, and I really hope that answers your question, and I hope to see a lot more Mavs and Donnas going forward. Let me know in the comment section down below what Nat 4 you would like to see me talk about. Right now I'm leaning towards Inferno. Till next time, guys. And just like I said yesterday, this coming up Friday, 6 p.m. EST, I'm going to be live on the official Summoners War Chronicles channel doing Q&A with Idol, as well as just talking about what's going on in the game, answering all your community questions, and hope to see you there.